Deal with your soul, baby. Deal with your soul. You may not like what I say. You may not like me. You may not agree with me. But deal with your soul, because it ain't about me. As long as you like you and you love you and you can look in the mirror and say to yourself, I love you and I forgive you, that's all that counts. You don't have to like me. But if you can't look in the mirror and honestly say to yourself, I love you, I respect you, I value you, I appreciate you, you don't have no business worrying about me. Fix you. It's never about me. And when I say me, I'm representing everybody that you give control over your life, that you pay enough attention to other people, that you don't pay attention to yourself. Because that's the problem with a lot of us. What we do is we don't take responsibility for the power that we give to people, but we point the finger at people for the power that we gave to them. We allow them to devalue us and to treat us any kind of way. And then we get mad when they treat us the way that we allow them to treat us, because we don't value ourselves. There are many of us, we turn a blind eye to the way that people treat us. We know that people not treating us right. We know that people put their foot on our neck. We know that people don't respect us. We know that people don't value us. We stay in relationships because we don't want to be lonely. We stay in relationships when we know people are using us and abusing us and doing all different types of things behind our back and in our face and things of that nature. And because we turn a blind eye, we're blinded in the spirit. And it affects us in the future for the things that we see. Because when God is trying to warn us and tell us things and show us things at that time, we take a blind eye to it. We act like we don't see it. Things that God wants us to confront and speak up for ourselves. Many of us will quote the scripture, Psalms 139, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. But you don't treat yourself like you're fearfully and wonderfully anything. You allow people to say what they say, to do what they do, to treat you the way that they treat you. But then you'll project onto other people and feel some type of way about other people when you don't even respect yourself enough to put up barriers, boundaries, make people respect you. You don't value yourself enough to love you, that you are more concerned about you than somebody else. We got holes in our souls. What is it? Hebrews 4:12 speaks about discerning, the spirit and the soul and the spirit is divided. And it in between that divided place is clogged up. It's dammed up. It's polluted. It's full of rejection and abandonment and fear and things that we don't face and things we suppress and allow people to put their foot on our neck and us sitting in positions and stand in places longer than we would need to, stand in relationships and things of that nature because we don't value ourselves. But then we'll tell people we're made in the image of God, but we don't treat ourselves as if we're made in the image of God. We want to look at other people and not look at ourselves. We're afraid to look at ourselves because it hurts to look at ourselves. So we look at other people and focus on other people and focus on what somebody else did to somebody else. And then a bunch of gossip. But we don't focus on what we do to ourselves. We don't look at how we allow people and overvalue people and put more value in people than we do ourselves. And then when people treat us a certain way, 30, 40, 50 years down the line, they've gotten used to treating you that way. So they don't know any other way to treat you. But now you're mad and angry and want things to change. But this is how you allowed them to do you and to treat you and expect for you to respond and do the things that you do regardless of how they treat you for over 30, 40, 50 years. Now you don't like it. But you got to heal. You got to heal you and speak up for you and love you and respect you and not care about what nobody else say or think about you. That's when you know your soul is being healed, when you're really healing, because you don't care what nobody else think or say about you. You're not sitting around waiting for permission from anybody to do what God has told you to do, to be who God says you are. And there are many of us, people ain't gonna like who you are becoming because you're transitioning into who you were supposed to be all along. But because of life and because you weren't healed and because of generational things that you had to deal with, you were actually operating in the way that you thought that you had to survive. But now you're about to thrive and move forward and become everything that you want to be, that you're big and bad enough to be, everything that God called you to be, unapologetically, and not worrying about what anybody else says or think about you. All of us have a past, but the past that we live in is for us to get over the past, not try to relive the past, but to live in healing and wholeness. Deal with our souls. Some of you, this ain't your story. You've always loved yourself. Some of us have an overlove for ourselves. We love ourselves so much that we can't love other people. We got soul issues. We got soul issues where we don't trust nobody. We don't love nobody. And we don't love ourselves. We got deep soul issues that need to be healed. But before any of us can look and point the finger at somebody else, we got to look within ourselves and heal within ourselves and deal with what's going on, the dividing of the soul and spirit. What's dividing and keeping the Spirit of God from rapturing and overtaking and covering and being able to pierce through the soul and impact the soul instead of the soul telling the spirit, we got to be divided because I'm not going to do things your way. When the spirit and the soul and the body is supposed to be one for God to use and get the glory, not to be separated, for us to operate in the spirit when we are being used by God and then operating in the flesh because we're still caught up in our soul wounds. That's what makes us hypocrites, hypocritical people of God, because we're operating out of the spirit one minute and the soul the next. We got to deal with us before we deal with others, before we judge others. We could take a look in these cameras and talk about other people, but we won't take a look in the mirror and talk about ourselves or talk to ourselves or encourage ourselves or build ourselves up or give ourselves permission to be everything that we are big and bad enough to be. Get your soul together. Get your life together. Get you together. There's a hole in your soul. Let God heal you everywhere you hurt. Be blessed.